Good morning, everyone. How is it going? Welcome. We are on step 5, day 5 today of our 30-day How to Reach Your Goals workshop. Hope you guys are having an awesome morning so far. Hope it's not too cold where you are at. Took the dogs for a walk this morning. Not as cold as yesterday. Yesterday I froze my face off, I think. And anyways, it's all good. What's going on, guys? Welcome again. For whatever reason, the comments are coming up this way, so I apologize if I'm like. Anyway, so I hope you've enjoyed the first couple of videos. We talked about 4 steps to how to reach your goals. If you've missed any of those, you can get them on the YouTube channel. Just search Yuri Elkaim on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of the other videos that we're posting. And thank you for joining me live. So if you're watching the replay, then just watch the other videos if you've missed them. So today we're talking about step 5 and how to reach your goals. Yesterday we talked about the importance of accountability, having a coach, having someone that you pay or at least are accountable to in some level. Today, I want to talk about the importance of KPIs, key performance indicators. That's a kind of a technical business term for measuring numbers or measuring progress. So I really like to think about how can you approach your life in a very similar manner that you would with business. Now, obviously, not all of you guys are entrepreneurs or CEOs and stuff like that, so I don't expect you guys to know this stuff. But what I do in my business, I look at there's so many kind of crossovers into health and everyday life and even family life that it's almost like, well, why don't they, it's kind of all the same stuff. So let's look at KPIs, or basically just talking about measuring your progress, right? So for instance, let's say we'll just use the example that we talked about before, losing 20 pounds, right? So let's say you weigh 200 pounds, you want to weigh 180 pounds. That is your goal within the next 2 months. So your metric is going to be your weight, right? That's essentially your key performance indicator, okay? Pretty simple stuff. Doesn't have to be very complicated. So you want to make sure that you are consistently measuring stuff. And what's interesting here is that there's research that shows that measuring your weight or taking your weight every single day is actually better than doing it once a week. And it's doing so in a way that is non-fanatical, so you're not obsessing about like, I lost 500 grams and why didn't I lose a pound and stuff like that. But the importance is this constant monitoring of the specific number or measurements that you want to change. Now, if you're taking pictures, which I strongly recommend you do, that's actually, for me, the best representation of a physical transformation is how you look. Obviously, how you feel is really important. As you guys know, I talk a lot about energy and feeling awesome, but if you want to transform your body in terms of muscle mass or getting, burning some more fat, the scale is not necessarily going to be the best representation, because as you're putting muscle on and losing fat, your weight could stay the same. And that's because muscle weighs more than fat does. So you could be using, a body fat percentage that might be a more accurate KPI or number to measure. Or you could be using your weight if you just want to look at weight loss overall. That's totally cool. Or if you're taking pictures, I would suggest that a daily picture probably is not going to show the best reflection of your progress, right? I would say a 1 picture a week is probably suitable for that. But a lot of times, one KPI, one really important KPI, or one kind of number to manage or measure is very, very important. And it's really fun too, because it becomes a game, right? Where, for instance, maybe you set up a chart where you have, let's say, 60 days, and every single day is a column. Okay, day 1, day 2, day 3, all the way to 60. And you just weigh yourself every morning before you have any food. Okay, so when you get out of bed, weigh yourself. Okay, today I'm 200 pounds. Tomorrow I'm 200 pounds. The next day I'm 199. The next day I'm 199. The next day I'm 198. And you just start to see this progress, and it's really, really motivating because the beautiful thing about metrics and measuring your progress is, first of all, what gets measured gets managed. So if you're not paying attention to your weight, or if you're not paying attention to whatever thing it is you want to measure, then you're not going to manage it very well, because it becomes a little bit more of an ethereal kind of qualitative improvements as opposed to a quantitative one. That's the difficulty with energy, is how do you quantify energy? It was funny when I pitched my first book, The All Day Energy Diet, to Hay House, I said, listen, I know everybody wants more energy. It doesn't matter if you want to gain muscle, lose fat. It doesn't matter. Everybody wants more energy. So how do you quantify that? How do you quantify having more energy? So for different people, that might mean different things. That might mean being able to get up at a specific time in the morning, as opposed to being shocked out of bed by your alarm clock. Or maybe it is not falling asleep after lunch at your desk. So maybe that is your measure of feeling more energetic, okay? So whatever it is that you want to achieve, figure out a way to quantify it somehow, to give yourself a very specific measurable of this KPI, this key performance indicator, an indicator that will let you know that you are making progress in the right direction, okay? It's really important because if you don't do that, then it's very easy to get off course, and you always want to have this feedback system with anything you're doing. One of the keys to creating good habits is you do an action, you get some type of results, and then that result reinforces the initial behavior, and that's basically a closed feedback loop, right? So, for instance, if you smoke, right, smoking is the behavior, a feeling of, let's say, relaxation is the result, and that reinforces the behavior once again. That's obviously not a good example because we don't want to be smoking. But with weight loss, for instance, let's say you lose a pound, or you work out, okay? And you weigh yourself the next morning and you lose a pound. That is a positive reinforcement that you're in the right direction, assuming everything else is okay, you're not killing your body in the process. And as you do that over time, it just reinforces and reinforces and reinforces, and it builds your confidence. That's really, really important. Does that make sense, guys? So my challenge for you today, and my action step for you guys today, is to choose one thing you're gonna measure, okay? One thing you're gonna measure. So what is your metric, your manageable number, the thing you are going to focus on? Is it body fat percentage? Is it your body weight? Is it something else, okay? So choose that one thing today, and again, as I just gave you an example, create a chart if you want. So just make a game out of it, post it up on your wall, and just every day check off or put in the number so you can see yourself as you progress. I mean, in my business, we have a number of different metrics and KPIs that we track every single day. And the important thing is to spend time at the beginning to figure out what is the most important KPI for you. What is the most important number for you to look at? Because you don't want to be measuring a number and then by the end of your, let's say your 2 months journey, you look at it, you're like, okay, great, that's awesome, but that's not really reflective of what I wanted to do in the first place. So it's really important to find the right number or the right thing to measure, okay? So thanks guys for joining me once again. Thank you for all the hearts. The Care Bear send-off is always good and appreciated. If you want to watch the replay of this, you can do that over on YouTube. We'll have it up by tomorrow. And here's a question. Is it okay to have sugarless gum? Yeah, as long as it doesn't have aspartame or sucralose. So I think there's a gum called Pure, P-U-R, which is a good brand. So body measurement like waist size or a few body measurements would work instead of weights. Yeah. So if you want to measure your waist or your hips, your arms, your legs, whatever you want, you can do a number of them if you want. That's totally cool. Did I post a video about hypertension? I think that's coming out this weekend, actually. Do you have a cheat sheet available for the book? So if you're in the Facebook group, everything is in there. We've got thousands of members in there. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, alldayfatburningdiet.com. If you get the book, you'll get a bunch of cool bonuses. Plus, you'll be included in our Facebook group, which is extremely vibrant. We're currently running a 21-day fat loss challenge. And inside the group, I've posted the meals, the recipes. Well, it's the same thing, sorry. The recipes and meal plans and getting started video, all that stuff, as well as a tracking sheet to track your progress over the 21 days and beyond. And a lot of other members have just said, listen, I just put together this Excel spreadsheet to give you guys a quick cheat sheet on the various foods for the specific days. I mean, so it's really cool to see the creativity of a lot of our members being like, listen, I put this together for myself, thought you guys might enjoy this as well, here it is. And so that would be probably the best cheat sheets that you can have within the group there from other people who've designed them for themselves. Awesome, guys. Well, there we go. I gotta go. Got some interviews to do. Hope you have an amazing day. I'll be back with you guys tomorrow. Step 6 on how to reach your goals in 2016. Take action today. Find your one number, measure it, track it, and that is going to give you the feedback and the reinforcement to keep on going. All right, guys. Have an awesome day. Ciao for now, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.